this just breaking, Maureen. CNN, bad news, just found liable in a defamation case for $5 million. And now the jury recommending that they move on to the punitive damages phase, which is no bueno for CNN. Here's what happened. A U.S. Navy veteran by the name of Zachary Young was put on CNN screen in a report done by a reporter named Alex Marquette. It aired on Jake Tapper's show. And in this report, Alex Marquette CNN suggested that this guy Young was an illegal profiteer working in Afghanistan with those who needed to be evacuated, charging them thousands of dollars to flee the country following the U.S. military withdrawal. And this guy Young was in touch with the CNN reporter, and before they ran the piece saying, no, not true, and what are you going to say? Because they reached out to him for comment, as you must. And he said, send me a list of questions, and I'll answer them. And they introduced texts in the lawsuit that he brought for defamation against CNN, including one in which Alex Marquette is texting another internal CNNer how annoyed he is that this guy Young has been in touch, saying, fucking Young just texted. Okay? And then there's a text in which... and he starts it with FFS, meaning for fuck's sake. Fucking Young just texted. It's like he's annoyed that his source, the subject of his story wants to talk about it. Like normally you're happy.
Normally that's great news.
If they yell at you, that's fine. Well, either way, interaction is fine. And then there was a text shown of Marquette's text where he told CNN's assistant managing editor, Matthew Phillips, we gonna nail this Zachary Young motherfucker. Which is not a great text when defending a defamation case. So now the jury has just come back finding CNN liable and saying they need to pay Mr. Young $5 million in compensatory damages, adding that he should also be awarded punitives. The trial will be heading into a second phase to determine the amount of punitive damages. Look, I hate to see, defamation cases succeed against our fellow media members because you never want to be in that position, right? I'd be lying if I said you didn't think, well, wow, geez, like nobody's perfect.
There but for the grace.
But this sounds rather egregious. These texts make it pretty clear this reporter was not necessarily 100% interested in reporting what was real and true.
No, and you know what else is really, I shouldn't be shocked because it's CNN, but I was glued to that coverage and I read everything I could about it. And instead of CNN really going down the rabbit hole of how Biden was able to do this despite every top general telling him not to do it, despite every top advisor telling him this is not the way, he went ahead and did it, and people died, and babies were thrown over barbed wire fences to U.S. servicemen. The desperation, we left American conspirators behind. We told them, we will protect you. And when push came to shove, we were like, we're out. Sorry, every man for himself. And it was these ex-military guys, I don't know if Zachary is ex or still, but who took it upon themselves, many remotely from America, to organize people, to organize former Navy SEALs to get these poor people out. But CNN instead thought the better story was, oh, one of these guys is trying to line his pockets. Like, that kind of tells you where their weather vane is.
When you have texts like that, you just settle.
Yeah.
Just settle. There will be situations in which the press behaves badly, in which you have bad texts, in which a reporter in the field makes bad decisions. And as a media organization, you settle those cases. That is why ABC settled with Donald Trump, paid him $15 million in his defamation lawsuit, because George Stephanopoulos just kept saying he raped somebody, that he was found liable for rape when it wasn't true. It's like sometimes you have to know as the corporation, the big daddy, when to fall on your sword and just say, we effed up and we're going to minimize the damage to our brand. I mean, CNN's in a spiral right now. It's got basement ratings. And like their big news this week has been Jim Acosta is moving from 10 a.m. to midnight.
Right.
And I guess they sold it to him by saying it's prime time on the West Coast.
Right. And Wolf Blitzer getting kicked out of prime time and he's getting a morning show. Like, what 67-year-old is like,
76, I think.
76. I'd love to get up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to prep for this. Yeah, great.
I know. And Jim Acosta on his most recent show has been, I think he was thanking President Biden for defending the press.
Stop it.
Meaning him.
Stop.
It's worse than you think. Watch this.
He warned the free press is crumbling in this country. Journalists exist to seek the truth, to tell people's stories, to lift up voices that may not be heard otherwise, to shine a light on injustice, and to hold the powerful accountable. I want to take a moment to show you something. A woman sent me this sign 8 years ago.
Oh, God.
She carried it here at a march in Washington. She wrote on the back of the sign, to me and the press here in D.C., you have our support. To Nora, wherever you are, right back at you.
Oh, my God. The sign reads, I march for Jim Acosta and a free press, and he's holding it up.
It's oh, my God, Ted Knight
Yes.
on the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Totally.
That's that. Like, more insane than this woman giving him this little placard, whatever. And is him holding on to it?
Right.
Like, imagine how many times he's moved offices and told some assistant,
get my
like, you got to get that. Don't leave that behind. I'll fire you.
Get my sign.
Like, he's going to take it home and have it framed when he retires. Like, it's demented.
I hope the woman who made the sign is on the West Coast and she can enjoy the newly minted prime time host on
set your DVR.
California only.
Oh my God.
I mean, they're rearranging the deck chairs. The ship is still sinking.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck with that.
Oh my God. Speaking of, just can I say,
Yeah.
you know, you often say this thing that Roger Ailes told you, which is watch with the sound off and see if you can tell what the story is. The LA wildfires breaking out on Wednesday morning. Is it Abby Phillip who's the morning person? Because she was doing a remote interview with somebody in the field in California, and she had her phone in the shot, and she was like this.
What?
It was like she was online shopping while she was
no.
getting this like incoming dispatch, like, we're burning to the ground over here and there's no water and no one's coming. She's like,
No, I don't know when she's on. I just see her clips. I think she's on in the evening. But I was just talking to her about her. When is she, Steve? She's at 9 p.m.? Oh, my God. God help you, CNN. I was just talking about her yesterday because she's got this weird thing with her affect, or she talks like this. And she's like, I don't think they were disparaging Pete Hegseth's military service, and you shouldn't disparage the general service who came before. I don't know what it is, but I asked the audience, like, that's my imitation of her. Who am I imitating? Like, who is it that because she's reminding me of somebody. And I feel like we came up with, some of the audience emailed in. Mm-hmm. It's Megyn at megynkelly.com. Here's what we came up with.
Nobody's going to go out with me.
Have you asked anybody yet?
No, but who would? I don't even have any good skills.
What do you mean?
You know, like nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills. Girls only want boyfriends who have great skills.
That's Napoleon Dynamite. Here's Abby Phillip. You tell me whether I'm onto something.
You have concerns about Elon Musk's business dealings in other countries, including American adversaries, that we are producing more oil now than even when Trump was in office.
Well, it's more.
That's a fact. I'm old enough to remember hydroxychloroquine and the horse tranquilizer and all that stuff. I mean, those things weren't true either. Okay.
She's just very, very flat while she makes her point with the occasional intonation upward.
Do you know who that reminds me of too?
Who?
Selena Gomez, who's been on this huge press tour. She's in that movie, that transgender musical, right?
Yeah.
And
Which I
she's-
refuse to see.
Right. I mean, who's going to watch that? Nobody's going to
one.
watch that. But she has the flattest affect. Like, she's been doing this press tour like it's her best year ever. And she sounds like she's on like medication for like treatment-resistant depression.
Oh, another submission. Please go find a clip of that so we can see who Abby Phillip is more like. People are more familiar with her name right now than they ever have been, thanks to our mentioning on this show. Increased tariffs on our trade partners, tax cuts, regulation changes. There's a reason why gold is a diversification tactic in a market that remains uncertain. Now more than ever, Birch Gold is releasing their ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era with a foreword by Donald Trump Jr. to get your free copy, along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold. Just text MK to the number 989898. Here are the facts. The national debt continues to increase. Our interest payments on the national debt continue to increase. Gold can be your hedge against a weakened dollar. And Birch Gold can convert an existing IRA or 401k in whole or in part into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. Text MK to 989898 and get your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. There's no obligation, just information. Wouldn't you like to know why everybody's rushing to gold? With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, and thousands of happy customers, find out more about Birch Gold. Text MK to the number 989898 today. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.